Relations between India and Pakistan are disintegrating following the Pahalgam terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. While the Indian government has responded with restrictions and other impositions, the sporting world too seems to be in the verge of falling in sync with this, with a potential boycott of all sporting ties between the two nations lying in wait. India is responding to this heinous crime by a strategic overhaul across various spheres. In the coming year, India is set to host a few big non-cricket sporting events, and while there has been a complete full stop to bilateral ties between India and Pakistan over in cricket, other sporting disciplines have managed to continue the contests owing to a rather cordial relationship. And of course, the biggest reason, it isn't as sharp in focus as cricket and cricketers are. Hockey, squash and other racket sports had remained unaffected, like how there were calls for a neutral venue for ICC matches hosted by either country. Other sporting disciplines still saw national teams travelling between India and Pakistan. In fact, the kind of intense rivalry we clamour for in cricket has been present more across other disciplines, with the contests happening in the countries also being key, like India's tennis squad. They visited Pakistan for their Davis Cup tie just earlier this year, a historic first in over half a century. Because the last time an Indian Davis Cup team visited Pakistan was way back in 1964. And the tie did live up to all the hype and expectations. Sure, the fixture didn't and the scoreline didn't say so, but the excitement of an Indian team in Pakistan in a sport like tennis set up quite the fanfare. And this was not all. Pakistan's hockey team visited India via the Atari border. This was to participate in the Asian Champions Trophy a couple of years ago in 2023. A sport that has seen great rivalry between these two sides dating back many decades. And then of course there's squash. This is one sport where Pakistan has been quite impressive against India. Pakistan have historically been competitive at World Championship with 14 gold medals to their name. At the Asian Games, India have a better record, though just about barely, with 3 gold medals to that of Pakistan's 2. Over in Commonwealth Games, it is India's 1 gold that pips their neighbours. And this is the reason why when the two teams compete at the world stage, it is always a spectacle for both sections of fans. Something similar happened in the finals of the Asian Games in 2023. They were competing for gold and it was nothing short of a dramatic movie. The game was tied at 1-1. India were behind in the final round, but it was India's Abhay Singh who held on to his nerves to give India the gold. Such has been the India versus Pakistan rivalry for ages. But maybe we've seen the last chapter, because following the terror attack in Pahalgam, even other sporting events do not want to be a part of this rivalry. And the starting point of that decision could be hockey. India is set to host the Men's Hockey Asia Cup, which will also act as a qualifier for the 2026 FIH World Cup. It's big. Earlier this month, Hockey India had confirmed that Pakistan would travel across the border to play in India. But following the attack, there are doubts hanging over that too, because India has imposed a no-visa policy for Pakistanis. The Hockey India Federation is sticking to that. India has long kept politics away from sports, but this time the situation is different, and it isn't just with hockey. The broadcast of Pakistan Super League or the PSL has been banned across India. A growing bromance has also come under the scanner. Neeraj Chopra, who'd invited Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem for his javelin throw event, which is set to take place in Bengaluru next month. Nadeem declined the invite, but it was the golden boy who faced all the heat. Following the backlash, Neeraj put out a post. The Tokyo Olympic gold medalist clarified that the invite was sent out before the attacks happened and that Nadeem's participation now, following the turmoil of the last few days, was anyway clearly out of question.
There has been so much talk about my decision to invite Arshad Nadeem. The invitation I extended to Arshad was from one athlete to another. Nothing more, nothing less. Invites had gone out to all athletes on Monday, 2 days before the terrorist attacks at Pahalgam. After all that has taken place over the last 48 hours, Arshad's presence at the NC Classic was completely out of the question.
Yes, Nadeem's participation was going to be impossible after this. The anger is palpable. Indian cricket commentator Sunil Gavaskar too couldn't control his emotions during an IPL match broadcast.
I just want to ask a question to all the perpetrators. What has all this fighting achieved? For the last 78 years, not 1 millimeter of land has exchanged hands. So for the next 78,000 years, and all the years after that, nothing is going to change. So why don't we live in peace instead and make our country strong?
Sure, sports is often considered a medium to unite the world. It's expected to promote the essence of unity despite being in the throes of geopolitical chaos. Because sport was always seen as something away from political decisions. Sports is also about level playing field, playing with honesty, holding certain values and standards in the highest regard. All of that comes to naught after such a brazen act. And in such circumstances, the messaging from a country has to always be singular and not scattered or in opposition.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.